Boom. It's Peter Gossi here. Motivation Monday, August 22nd, 2022. There goes the ferry. This is at Horseshoe Bay. This is the port here. There's a ferry going somewhere, one of the islands. And I just rode my bike over here from Vancouver. It took me about 2 hours. I'm just happy to be here. This is where I'm starting my journey. One take, one shot. We're just exploring this place for a little bit. I haven't been here in a while. And what I wanted to talk about today is humans and how it's never enough. It's never enough of anything. No matter how much they got, they always need more. This is an illness that the humans suffer from. It's not like other animals where they can be sufficient with minimal amounts of stuff. Humans are always wanting endless materialism, endless stuff, endless enjoyment, endless everything. It's never enough. That's why I envy the Amish and the Mormons and the people from countries, third world countries, that can be sufficient with minimal amounts of stuff. But the westernized society has just totally went overboard of never having enough, never being enough, always wanting more, always wanting what everybody else has, and never being happy with just having a little bit.
That's right. Somebody's got to be on it. So I only downloaded one thing. It's the thing that you said about.
Right here's the.
Oh no way. Yeah, I couldn't find anything else.
An anchor. Lots of construction going on here in Horseshoe Bay. Very intricate project they're doing over here. Good craftsmanship. Some kind of an outdoor thing. Always putting more together, doing more, taking down old stuff and putting up new stuff. Actually, today I'm kind of angry, which I should be. You should be angry. If you're motivated and you're hungry, you should be angry. Angry about all the pain and the suffering you've been through. If you have been through some, use it like a ball of energy to get you where you want to be. My name is Jesse Isaiah Shamar. My father, David, was a Rasta, a light-skinned Rasta. He had created a family before I was born. He was married, he had 4 children, and it didn't work out for him. He got kicked to the curb, and he went from British Columbia to Toronto when he was in his late 40s or early 40s. I met my mother, a young woman, a lost woman, and had me, Jesse. And it didn't work out between them. Infidelities on both sides. My mother ended up having another child, my sister, my younger sister. I'm glad that she's alive. I'm glad she was created.
Diving around oil rigs and stuff? Yeah.
With a guy, a dark-skinned guy from America, and he left. he disappeared, never to be seen again. He came back and visited once when she was, I think, 5 years old, for a couple days, and then disappeared, never to be seen again. And that's my younger sister, half sister, and I have 2 older half sisters and 2 older half brothers on my dad's side. And I grew up in chaos and pain. People who aren't ready to be doing what they're doing. We're still trying to create something together, and it didn't work out. I grew up in a nice neighborhood in Toronto called Riverdale, but I wasn't accepted into to this neighborhood with these kids, these white kids, these privileged kids who were from big houses, and I was from a broken home and a broken family, and a lot of fighting and chaos. And I still managed to survive. I was the kid in the school that could stay out till midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning when I was, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. And other kids had to go home for dinner, and they had dinner waiting for them on the table, and they had their nice house and their nice car, and I had a shitty apartment that we lived in. It was like pure chaos. And the fighting was terrible because of the infidelities in the relationships. And my father eventually ran away because my mother was crazy. I don't blame her though, because she went through a lot. And eventually my mother and sister ended up homeless, going from shelter to shelter. And I was dropped at my father's doorstep. He had rented out a little crap hole in Kensington Market in Toronto. And he had a roommate, and it was just a crappy little 2-bedroom, and I had to share a room with him for a year, and then he went and lived in the living room. And my mother, she was going from shelter to shelter till they finally set her in a place in Regent Park. And that's where she stayed till I was in my 20s, my late 20s. And that's where I would visit her in piss hallways with cockroaches and mice. And that was still the same way as before, even being there. When they were in the Riverdale, they were in the shittiest apartment in the place, in the whole neighborhood. But you know what? I was popular. I was cool. I was the cool kid. But I realized even being the cool kid is not as cool as you think it is. It's better to be studying, have your parents setting you in the right direction. My father was a teacher, and I couldn't even read. I had learning disabilities as a child, going through, watching so much chaos and destruction and fighting. And then when I was 12, everything uprooted, and I was in a whole different environment. On the west side, downtown, near Chinatown, Kensington Market. That's where I resided till I left Toronto, basically. And actually, I had a lot of friends in school, and I was cool, and I lost all that when I moved. They slowly drifted away. And in grade 9, I just couldn't manage. I couldn't handle my life, and I dropped out of school. And I sat at home playing video games all day for 2 years straight. I didn't come out. I was in my own lost in my own confusion, not understanding why this was my life and how I had ended up like this. I played video games, Diablo 2 and StarCraft, and hid away and smoked weed, and I finally kicked myself out of that and went back to alternative schools. Went back to grade 9 after having failed grade 9 and dropped out, and I slowly made my way back into society. I went with all the bad kids, all the other dropouts. I had seen things that people should not see. The most broken kids hurting each other. And I had fallen into the trap of trying to go down that road of being a hustler. But I quickly realized that I wasn't the one that was the most hurt. I had come from Riverdale, which was a soft neighborhood, a rich neighborhood, and I'd understand these people from these ghettos who were fearless, who would kill you for nothing, who were real hustlers. And they showed me, they put me in my place. And I eventually, after taking some losses in that game, decided I didn't want to do that anymore. I went to different alternative schools. I had been cool with the toughest kids in the school. I had went to war with other groups for my group, but I didn't want that life. I wanted a different life, a better life. So I left it all. I left that life. And I dropped out of grade 11. I made it halfway through grade 11, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't see this alternative school, this gang life, these wars. I didn't want any more of it. I had had enough. I had seen enough. And I let it go. And I went to college. As a mature student, I took the tests, and I went there for construction engineering. Something I would have never thought I would have done. There comes a ferry. Amazing place, Horseshoe Bay. Horseshoe Bay. This is where we're starting our journey today. And we're going over to Whytecliff Beach after one of the best beaches I've found in Vancouver. Anyways, back to the story. This changed my life. I met a lot of smart people in school, but there was still the bad people, still the people that were trying to scam, trying to hustle. They were still in the college, in the community college. They're everywhere. This is a hustler's world. And I struggled with addiction. In and out. I had to let go of my addictions and let go of people around me so that I could accomplish and get my diploma in construction engineering technology. Something I would have never thought I would have done. But I was inspired by my father, who in his 60s went back to University of Toronto and got a degree in criminology. He had many degrees, and he was a very educated activist. Fighting for the people, fighting for the youth. And he inspired me to go and get that diploma. And from there, he left, and he went to California, and eventually ended up in Vancouver while I stayed in Toronto and took over that crap hole that we had in Kensington Market. And I continued to stay there, and I got a job doing surveying on the Ritz-Carlton. I actually got a job during the summer, the second year summer, on a smaller 12-story building, and I started to learn how to do construction layout. Then I went back and I got my third year. I got my advanced diploma and finished and graduated by myself. I had to let everybody go in this life. And then I went off and I got a co-op with a big construction company, a former company, and I did layout. I laid out some of the coolest buildings in Toronto. But eventually I outgrew the methods that they were using. I got tired of it. I wasn't growing anymore. And I quit after 5 years almost with that company. And I stayed home for a year. I fell back into my addictions, and I hid away from everybody, and I didn't know where I was gonna do. But I had accumulated some resources. So I didn't have any income, and I stayed home. And I didn't know where I was gonna end up or where I was gonna be. And actually, my father had passed 2 years before that, when I was 25. I visited him many times, and he was my mentor. And he passed away from his sickness and illness, and I had never really had a chance to grieve or process that. So that's why I needed to get away from that job that was consuming me. And I had to process and grieve, and I'm still grieving to this day. It's been 13 years now, and I still haven't got over losing my father. But I won't give up. I'll keep being a warrior and not allowing people to put me down or to judge me for what I've done in my life. But anyways, back to the story. I took a year off, and I finally kicked out of it after about a year. I quit everything. I started running again, because I always was a runner. As a kid, I was the fastest guy in the school, and there was one girl faster when I was 12 years old. But I left that when I was in my teenager years. I couldn't do it. But anyways, back when I was in my 20s, I started running again. I gave my notice at that place. I tried to move with my mother and see if I could make it work. It didn't work. It wasn't working. We couldn't get along. And then I packed my stuff in some suitcases and called my brother and told him that I'm gonna move to the West Coast. And moved to Vancouver, where my father had passed. He had been living here, and I had visited him a few times before he passed. And I needed a change of environment. So I left Toronto on a really strong point. I told my sister I was leaving, and she hung up on me, my younger sister. And I don't blame her. We have had a rocky relationship, but I always wish the best for all my sisters and brothers. And I'm glad they're doing great in life. But life is not an easy thing. It's a struggle to be in this life, to be part of this life. And I went to Vancouver with just a dream. I didn't know what I was gonna be. I didn't know if I could go back to construction, and I did. I found a room. I rented a room out here in Vancouver, and I got a job at the Trump Tower, and I didn't like it, and I walked out after 3 days, not knowing what I was gonna be, where I was gonna go, what I was gonna do. I still had some savings left. This was back in 2012, 2013, when I came here. And I found another job doing some towers in Brentwood. The first couple towers, the big towers. It was the biggest tower in Burnaby at the time. And I worked there for a year and a half, and I outgrew it, and I quit. And then I tried another former company, at Brentwood Mall, and I was doing the mall, and I was doing all the interesting stuff. I just didn't like the company though that was there, the way that the environment was, the energy. So I left that. After 6 months, then I got another job for another company. They ran out of work, and after less than a year, and I changed again. Always doing construction layout for high rises. Then I got another job for another former company doing the Arc, and that was the best building I ever been on. The most complicated building in Vancouver. And I finished that building right to the end. And then I went over and I did more buildings over in Brentwood. And I quit the job, and they called me back, and I went back again, and I did another 1.5 years, and I quit again. So I'm good at quitting. I'm good at letting go of things. Because I can feel where I am, and when it's time to go, when it's time to let other people have a chance in this competitive society. And now I'm just living my life, enjoying it. But I made a lot of sacrifices to get to where I am now. I never drove a car. I never had a car. I didn't have relationships. I stayed to myself. I saved my money. I rode my bicycle with no engine, no motor, just a bicycle to work at 3 o'clock in the morning in Toronto at -30 or minus 30 an hour or 2 hours to work in the snow at 3 o'clock in the morning. I rode my bike in the rain in Vancouver, 50 mils plus in the middle of winter to work at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever time it was. I would work till 7, 8 o'clock at night, and I would go home and I would just do that and sacrifice everything. My diet, my health, everything to make money. I did that for years. For 13 years I did construction layout. You know, I went down a different path than everybody else. I had to go on a journey on my own. And now I've even let that go. I feel like I've passed through that phase in my life, and I want to do something different. I'm ready for a new challenge. I don't know what it would be. I had to do a lot of suffering and a lot of heart seeking and a lot of internalizing this life to realize where I need to go. And I don't know where I need to go in this life, but I'm hungry and I'm angry. I'm upset. I'm trying to channel this energy to do something positive with my life and not negative. It's too easy to be negative. It's too easy to go down the negative route. I want to channel it to do something big in this life. Find a new goals and new accomplishments. I've had many accomplishments in my life. I'm thankful for all of them. I'm thankful for the opportunities people gave me that gave me a chance to a guy like me who really suffered in this life and went through a lot of pain, and they gave me a chance. They seen something in me, and I thank them for that. Having nothing and nobody. We don't need people. We need ourselves. We do need people, actually. We need people in this life. And they're trying to stop that. They're trying to eliminate the human connection in this life. by distancing people and masking people and having people in fear of each other. But there's nothing to fear. You know, if you've been through a real tough time in this life, you don't fear a little cough or a cold. That's nothing. For coming from the bottom with nothing, you think people from the bottom with nothing are gonna be worried about a cough or a cold? This depopulation agenda, this distancing each other from each other. We've been distanced our whole lives. Now we're trying to come together, and they want to scare everybody into fear of humans. You think that seagull has a fear in his heart? I don't think so. So we got to stop being in fear. We got to reach out to each other, be there for each other, and come back and create new communities, fight against these billionaires that are creating these poisons to try to kill us. Don't accept it. Don't comply with them. Find your own destiny, your own path, your own journey. Horseshoe Bay, what an amazing place. Very touristy, but it's a very beautiful place. This is where you get the ferry to Nanaimo, Gibson, and many other islands. Lots of people are going all over the place here. I'm blessed to be in the situation I am, but I also sacrificed. I invested my money, I invested my time. I didn't blow my money. They wonder how on August 22nd, 2022, on a Monday at 9 o'clock in the morning, I can be out in Horseshoe Bay. I keep saying the wrong name, but it's okay. This is all organic, off the top of my mind, off the top of my heart. And I was actually planning to go to Whytecliff Beach. And I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna show you guys that. But I had to make a stop over here at Horseshoe Bay before I go there. I'll continue on in a little bit. Once I get there, I want to show you this beautiful beach that they have here. And how amazing it is to be here in the middle of summer. All right, I'll see you then in a little bit. Hey, what's up? I'm back. This is Whytecliff Park. One of my favorite beaches in BC, actually. It's a very rocky beach. There's not a lot of sand. And I take you up these little trails here. Motivation Monday. I hope to jump in that water soon. There's people in there with scuba gear. And there's some cliffs you can jump off here, but I know YouTube, they don't like to see that type of content. And I don't know exactly where the best locations are for jumping, so I don't want to risk it. There's actually an otter in the water there. He just went under. There he is again. So no matter how much pain and suffering I went through, there's always people that went through a lot worse, a lot more. And I'm thankful for everything I got and everything I went through. It can only make me stronger. It doesn't kill me. What doesn't kill you can make you stronger. Some really cool spots up here. I want to take I'm gonna go up both little rock mountains. Maybe I'll go down this one first. I just love the nature in this place, and it's not that busy, especially today because it's a Monday. I'm sure it was quite busy on the weekends because everybody's coming out nowadays. Well, a lot of people are. It's a strange world we live in now. It's not like the old days. The computers have really taken over the minds of people. People can't get enough of staring at these screens. But you gotta embrace where we are at in this reality. And this is the age that we're in, the computer age. This is a very interesting little spot between the two rocks here. And you gotta embrace the computer age, you gotta accept it. It's not gonna go away. But also, you gotta hopefully you can let it go. You don't have to always be on it, especially when you're outdoors in the nature. As I say that, I'm a total hypocrite. We all are hypocrites in our own way. We all are our own worst nightmares. We all are our own biggest enemies. We got to deal with ourselves so that we can deal with others. Look at that purple thing right there. Looks like a donut. There's some type of sea urchin there. Friends are far and few because nowadays most people are trying to get something, even though get you to work for them, get you to do whatever it is for them, get you to be on their team, their sidekick on their thing. And once you start to break free and you start to go on your own journey, they just disappear on you. They're not interested in your journey, they're only interested in their own. And we gotta just accept that and keep moving. Can't give up on our goals and dreams, our inspiration, our ambition. We gotta let people be and move on with our lives once the time has come. But it's a very strange world, as I was trying to say before. This whole thing with the people in their screens instead of communicating with each other, and also with these masks on in fear, as though you're gonna try to kill them or something because you exist in their atmosphere and their weird minds that they want to control you to do and to assimilate to whatever they're doing and what they think is right. Everybody has a different right. And we got to accept each other in this world. We got to accept the differences and not be hateful to each other, because there's a lot of haters out there. They hate you because you didn't want to do what they're doing. But you know what? We're all on a different path and a different journey, and we all see things differently. We grew up differently, different morals, different ethics. And whether they're right or wrong, who knows? But you're not going to change anybody. People are set in their ways. So you gotta accept them or don't, and don't have anything to do with them. But don't waste your energy fighting with them. That's just a waste of energy. I really like hiking through these rocks here. This is why I like this area. There's some of the coolest rock trail. There goes a ferry from Horseshoe Bay. Different people find different paths in these areas. There's so many different paths in this area. A nice little bench here. There's another bench. This NPC world, NPCs, the bots, feels like they've taken over. The computers, they got people's minds. They got them locked down. It's an NPC world now. People don't even want to communicate with each other. They don't want to even acknowledge your existence. That's too bad for them then. Let them be in their little secluded space. Let them isolate forever. We're coming outside, the real humans. We're gonna keep fighting to be allowed to exist in this world. And we're not gonna take any of your forcing of anything on us. This is an amazing little path here. I don't know if I want to do that path there though. Doesn't seem like it goes where I want. You got to keep doing the things you enjoy in this life though. Well, you got it. You don't get control over the end of this life. Maybe the fate is already sealed and you got to enjoy the moments. I enjoyed the bike ride here on the side of the highway. You know, it's not for the faint of heart, but for me it was great. A great experience to have the fear of big trucks and cars all right beside you on the highway when you have a little path with a bunch of rocks that weren't cleaned, and you just keep going. You just accept that anything can happen and you do the best you can in the moment. That's all you can do. I love to ride my bike far places like this. I hope to make it to Whistler one day, but I'm really glad to have made it out to Whytecliff Beach today. I'm really appreciative of this moment. Do not disturb the marine mammals. So I'm gonna go up that little mountain over there. This is kind of somebody's getting married or taking marriage pictures or whatever. This is a beach. It's very rocky. It's very wet here. The stones are, everything's wet. Like there's some kind of a breeze that hit the shore. Or maybe at night the water goes all the way up to the So I was telling you a little bit about my story, and I'm glad I could share. I hope you enjoyed it. There's a lot more to the story, but right now I don't want to get into the story anymore. I want to enjoy the beach right now. I gotta be careful with every step. All it takes is a little slip. I just love this beach though, this park here. Whytecliff Park, Whytecliff Beach. I would really encourage people, if they're around, to come and visit this beach. I haven't found one that I like more. Gotta be careful. Some of the loose rocks. I was really inspired Saturday night when I saw the UFC fight between Leon Edwards and Usman, when everybody had counted out Leon. He shocked the world by upsetting the person who had defeated him before, proving that anything's possible. Anything's possible in this life. You just gotta believe in yourself. Can't give up on yourself. Too many people give up on themselves, and they won't even admit it. You know, I feel like giving up on myself a lot, but I won't allow it to happen. I'm not gonna do it. Every day is a new day, and you got a new chance to fight this battle of life, this competition they put us in like some kind of slaves. They have us here against each other rather than with each other, fighting for hours at a job, fighting for position at a job, fighting to make a little bit of money to survive in this life. That's what they have us doing in this life. Having these billionaires control our thoughts and program us in the ways they want to. But they won't give us anything, but they'll tell us, they'll try to pretend as though they're trying to help us. We don't need anything from you anyways, you billionaires. We don't need your money. You can be happy without it. That money is not just a sickness that you're hoarding in. A sickness of money. Look at this thing. I gotta climb to get up. The rock face. my grip is good. Right on the side of the cliff. Every step matters. I love this rock here. This is the Whytecliff Rock. You think the same ones that want to depopulate are the ones that are going to help you to survive some sickness? You really believe that? These billionaires that want to get rid of you, want the planet to themselves, they're the ones that are going to help you to survive? You believe that? You must be fooling yourself. You better reevaluate. They want to get rid of you. They got no need for you. And they believe you're just a useless eater. And they want to depopulate you. They want to censor you. They don't want your mind to have free thought. They want your thoughts to be programmed to whatever their desires are, so they can enslave you and have everybody thinking the same. No freedom of thought, no freedom of expression, no freedom of speech. This is what these billionaires want from you. Nothing good. So don't trust them. Don't trust the remedies to your problems. Create your own remedies for yourself. Remedies, curing, going outside, being in the nature, seeing the world for yourself, experiencing it for yourself. Finding your own freedom and your own path in this existence. It is great to have hardships in this life. It's great to have losses in this life. It makes you learn to appreciate what you have. To have little in this life makes you appreciate anything, having anything. We all will lose everything at some point. So just enjoy the experience and you will see what will happen in your future later. I'm gonna go right to the edge of the Whytecliff. This is my favorite rock here. Huge rock, massive rock. It's amazing that something like this could exist. A huge rock that was put here somehow, that was exposed, and let to show its potential. And people get to enjoy it. Every crevice, the spirit within this rock is amazing. It's powerful, strengthening. Finding a way to climb across the rock is a great experience. So many different paths to try, and lots of boats passing, marinas close by. The ferries are always coming in and out. There's the ocean hitting the rocks there. Beautiful sound. And even there's a tree that has been here forever. Lives on the rock. Tree, Whytecliff Rock, right at the edge. Providing a little bit of shade and a place for the birds to sit. Amazing place. Little birds in the bushes there. The grip is really good on the rocks. What's up, people? We made it. Whytecliff Rock, Motivation Monday. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoy this episode. We're gonna start heading back down, and then I'm gonna try to go in the water if I'm brave enough. Maybe we'll see the otters or whatever marine mammals are in there. Let's see if there's a way to get across this way on the other side, on the north side. Oh, you gotta be careful though. One slip. Slowly take your time. There's no rush. Here's the crow at the top of the tree there, calling its friends, communicating with its friends. I'm glad it is able to. There's two of them, one at the top and one a little bit lower down. So this way it didn't work out that good. I gotta see if I can climb up somehow. I gotta go back a different way. I don't want to climb up the face like that. There we go. Breathe, enjoy the fresh air, enjoy the sun. Enjoy the existence. Let's. The boats are always passing, zooming past. There's stork down there. I gotta find out how I'm descending on this face, slowly and carefully. We made it, episode 6, Motivation Mondays. Every Monday, we're dropping a video by the end of the day, and it's all of activities I do on Monday, on my Motivation Monday. I hope it inspires you to enjoy your Monday and be hungry and ambitious. While still allowing others to exist in this world. And not being hateful towards others just because you don't see their view, you don't see their perspective, why they don't want to do what you're doing, why they don't want to follow your path. Understand they got their own desires and their own hunger. And things change over time. People want to do one thing one day and the next they've changed their mind about it. That's okay. You gotta be careful even on a little bit of algae like this. You don't know how slippery it may be. You only get one life. Don't live it in fear. Don't live it in slavery. Don't live it in other people's idea of what it needs to be for you. Live it the way you want to live it, the way it makes you feel good about it. Embrace your pain, embrace your suffering that you've been through in this life. We all are going to lose everybody and lose ourselves. That's just part of the experience of life, is the loss and gain, accomplishments, letting go of the envy, the jealousy, the greed, helping others. Accepting others. I never ate any meat before other than seafood my whole life. I never had a hamburger or a steak. And everybody always tells you you're missing out. And I tell them, I don't know if I'm missing out. I enjoy the way I am, the way I was raised. I'm thankful for it. There's a gift to it. And I accept the way that other people are. If they want to eat meat, that's no problem. No judgment. I eat the fish and the shrimp and a little bit of other seafood, but I never had any other meat my whole life. I'm thankful for that. My Rasta dad and mother, my Polish mother. My mother wouldn't let me cut my hair until I was old enough to do it myself. They were hippies, and my dad had dreadlocks down to his knees, and my mother did too at some point, but she let it go and she assembled back into the mainstream society. And I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful for the gifts I was given, the health that I was taught, the lessons I was taught in this life, the gifts I was given. The challenges I faced. I'm gonna turn the camera off for a minute or two and get ready to go see if I can go swimming in this water here. Everybody seems to have wetsuits on. I want to experience it. So I'll be back in a few seconds. All right, here we go. No swimsuit. Now I understand why they're wearing the wetsuits. The water is very salty, and the rocks are very slippery. It's all rocks. There's no sand under the water. So wearing flip-flops is very dangerous to slip and cut your knee on these algae rocks. It was great to go in the water for a minute. That's a little bonus of me going in the water. I hope to find a better, cleaner beach in Vancouver to go in the water, but it's great to take a little dip for a second. Thanks for tuning in. Motivation Monday, August 21st. Or is it the 22nd? It's hard to even remember the dates nowadays. 2022. I hope you're motivated. Keep your hunger burning. Stay angry. Stay upset. Stay happy. Have all the emotions. Enjoy the life. Make sure the hunger keeps burning. Like and subscribe for more content. Pure Ghostry signing out. Hope you enjoy a little bit of my story. There's a lot more to uncover in the future. You will see me more. I got a lot of things planned. So stay tuned. Take it easy.